Do you remember when Braun Strowman won the greatest Royal Rumble at Saudi Arabia and he was gifted a championship belt that we all thought was going to be there for a while? Thank God it wasn't. There was a time with WWE we're going to do this, but for King of the Ring. What is up guys, this is WGAPproductions. My name is Red Panda, also known as Corky Izzard, and today we're going to talk about the WWE Universe. The King of the Ring is, well, was a pay-per-view by the WWE, where a tournament would be held in a knockout system and the winner would be crowned the King of the Ring. Believe it or not, this pay-per-view was actually considered one of the big 5 events, along with WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series and SummerSlam, as instead of having the event as a pay-per-view, they now just show the event as weekly TV, as an angle for mid-carders, and now is known as the Mid-Card Tournament. Not only will they receive a push, but they will also have their gimmicks changed, though not all superstars, but those who have little to no control over their characters will inevitably get their gimmicks changed. I don't write the rules, I just play them. In order to be a king, you have to dress like a king of the ring. So those with a weak gimmick will have it changed. No matter what it is, it'll just be king something, where they dress as royalty and have a little crown party on the head. And you get people to carry you down the stage. Though it was quite different back in the day, as when Bret Hart, Owen Hart and the likes of Stone Cold won it, it meant something. It was a lot more prestigious and they actually did something with their character. Apart from a select handful of great moments like the Ringmaster becoming Austin 316 or Mick Foley versus The Undertaker, 1998 Hell in a Cell, which wasn't part of the King of the Ring. It was on the card, so I'm gonna count it anyway. King of the Ring wasn't the best. The pay-per-view became pretty lackluster to say the least, as they never even did anything with the superstars that won it. Sure, they're on TV for a bit and deliver some cliche promos that go along with the gimmick, but there would be no push for them at all until like one day they just simmer away. What's the point of having a king if they don't want to be a king? But a lot of the kings have become forgettable. None more so than the King of the Ring. 1995. It's so bad! On the 23rd of June 1995, the WWE held their 3rd annual King of the Ring tournament, Guts and Glory, with the likes of Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Lex Luger and Yokozuna. So many legends that we know of today. It would be hard to guess a winner, judging from the table alone. Honestly, who do you think would win this King of the Ring tournament, judging from stardom alone? Well done, you're smarter than Vince McMahon, because if you don't know, the winner of the tournament was Mabel. No, not the likes of Shawn Michaels or The Undertaker, 2 of the best wrestlers of all time. Vince decided to give it to Tinky Winky.
Tinky Winky, Tinky Winky.
I know Vince has a love for big men, but come on, he's not even the biggest guy on the roster. Yokozuna literally weighs 40 pounds heavier, and he's actually, like, you know, good. The Teletubby would lay waste to his opponents, quite literally in fact. After Mabel squashed Adam Bomb in under 2 minutes. I wouldn't want to be that guy. Mabel went on to the 2nd round to face The Undertaker, where he pinned him in the middle of the ring. Yeah, that happened. I don't know what it is, but Vince is really deluded about Mabel. The man thought if he beat The Undertaker that the crowd would be behind him as a champion. But obviously, it angered everybody a lot more, as The Undertaker's last loss was to Hulk Hogan 3 years beforehand. And now, after all that build up, he loses to Mabel. So yeah, fans weren't particularly happy.
Uh-oh.
Can we just imagine if The Undertaker won the King of the Ring? Imagine the King Phenom. That would be so fun. The Royal Chokeslam from Hell. Mabel would then go on to face either Shawn Michaels or Carmen. But as their match resulted in a no contest, they decided to just give Mabel a bye. Oh, so far he's literally had one match. The first doesn't count, the third was a bye, and this is the guy that Vince thinks that we're all going to get behind and support. Fans weren't particularly happy with this, and even worse, they were ECW fans. They weren't scared to let Vince know exactly what they think of the promotion. For the final, there was Mabel versus Savio Vega. And the match was as terrible as you could imagine. Mabel applied what I can only assume was a bear hug.
Mabel with a bear hug, and it looks like Mabel doesn't have a great deal behind that bear hug.
And that's it, like, it was just a long bear hug and it's not even on properly. Vince, doing what he does best, came up with his own interpretation of what the fans were chanting, which by the way were mostly ECW fans. And they let Vince know exactly how they felt about the match.
It's 568 pounds, listen to this.
So as you can probably guess, fans weren't particularly happy with this event.
Razor Ramon coming in to help out Savio Vega, who was just crushed.
After winning the tournament, he was crowned King Mabel and would go on to feud with Diesel for the WWF Championship belt at SummerSlam. But after injuring so many superstars, like, you know, actually almost paralysing Diesel and breaking the Undertaker's orbital bone, the man would mysteriously get released by the WWF. I wonder why. It was after his time at WWF the belt started emerging online, with Mabel holding a King of the Ring Championship belt next to belt maker Dave Millican. People began to speculate about the belt's origin and whether or not it was actually made by the WWF because of its design, with the WWF being in print rather than the actual logo. And just look at those countries, something about them just looks off. Especially the UK one, it looks like it was made from the 1800s. Why are flags even on the belts anyway? It just doesn't make any sense. Why doesn't it have some sort of kingly item like a crown or, you know, a scepter? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It just looks stupid. In 2008, in an interview with WWE magazine, Mabel was asked, "There's an urban legend that a custom title was made for you after you won the King of the Ring in 1995. Could you clarify if that's true? It never made it on TV and it's more of a trophy that was made for me. I had the title refurbished a few years ago by Reggie Parks. He makes titles and is a good friend of mine. He took a whole bunch of pictures of it and put them on the internet, and this sounds like an urban legend, but it's true," stating that he had the belt made for him personally, which would explain why it was never shown on WWE TV. A belt made by a king for a king. Sorry Triple H, it looks like Mabel was the true King of Kings. Dan of Leather by Dan stated that it was a marketing tool following his first exit from the company back in 1996. That was a belt Mabel had made on his own after he left the company. He reached out to Reggie Parks. Dave Millican had the belt made. If you look at it, it has WWF, but it's in a font, not the copyrighted WWF black logo. That's a title that Mabel would use on the independents. He defended it, and mostly it was used as a gimmick table. The belt, based on its size, is very unique. It was a great marketing ploy for Mabel to get people interested in him. He got it made before Viscera and sold it before he passed away, who shared several photos of Mabel wearing it. The belt is now in possession of belt collector Mark, who shared several photos of the belt and Mabel wearing it. I've got to say, as a collector myself, I would love my own unique belt. Oh, it would be so sick. So what do you guys think? Do you think Mabel was telling the truth and that Vince McMahon actually had a WWF championship made for him? Or that he's just a load of shit? Leave your answers in the comments below. If you could like, share and subscribe, that would be nice of you. Peace!